Welcome back to Create, Connect, Repeat. My name is Nick Finzer, and if you hadn't heard, Facebook is canceling music. All right, so that's a bit of a dramatization. There has been some posts on Facebook recently that I'm sure many of you saw having to do with the fact that Facebook updated its terms and conditions when in all reality they were just reaffirming their terms and conditions that they had 2 years ago put out there into the world. But the first thing that people were getting worried about is I want to show you an article that came out just last week about this exact thing. And they were saying that effective October 1st, Facebook is taking steps to limit the ability of bands to promote videos that will create a listening experience. And everyone's like, what the heck is a listening experience? What the heck is that? And so first of all, I just want to clarify what exactly is happening first, and then give you a couple of other thoughts that I think are really important surrounding this topic. So first, a friend of mine, he did some research, and also Facebook did clarify. They said you may not use videos on our products to create a music listening experience, which is kind of vague. But then they clarified, saying, we want to encourage musical expression on our platforms while also ensuring that we uphold our agreements with rights holders. These agreements help protect the artists, songwriters, and partners who are the cornerstone of the music community. We're grateful for how they've enabled the amazing creativity we've seen in this time. Our partnerships with rights holders have brought people together around music on our platforms. As part of our license agreements, there are limitations around the amount of recorded music that can be included in live broadcasts or videos. While the specifics of our license agreements are confidential, today we're sharing some general guidelines to help you plan your music videos better. So, what they're talking about here is that anytime you reproduce a recorded version of a song, you owe mechanical royalties on that song. Not if you're performing the song, but if they're talking about when you play something in the background, or like have a listening party, or use recorded music that you don't own the copyrights to, basically is what they're talking about there. People were freaking out and talking about they're not going to be able to perform their own music or play live and all the kind of thing. But really what they're talking about is using other people's music in your videos in the background, playing live or something like that. So they're going to start to flag them. They have been flagging them already. This has been happening. Ask Lucas Pino, a great tenor saxophone player. He's been playing along to some transcriptions, and he said that they keep taking him down. This is on Instagram too. So it's been happening. This is just an update to the terms and conditions. I think Facebook is just trying to protect themselves from, like they mentioned, rights holders, labels, and the PROs, so BMI, ASCAP, etc. Facebook makes so much money that I'm pretty sure that they might be thinking, oh, we could go after Facebook for rights violations for not policing their content. So what they're trying to do is pass the buck on to us, the musicians, the content creators, to be responsible with the way that we use other people's music on our channel. So I'm going to go back over here to the screen in a second, but it's really important to realize that no, Facebook is not really changing anything. They're just clarifying a position that the rights holders are going to be able to go after the artists, or that Facebook is going to take down your stuff if you are using other people's music and not paying for the mechanical royalties on it. So they're just going to pretty much just shut that stuff down. So I think it's going to take a little bit of experimenting. October 1st is when this goes into effect. So in a couple of weeks, we'll see how much stuff is getting taken down. But let's go back here to some of their guidelines here. Shorter clips are recommended. Should always be a visual component to your video. So if it's just like a thing on a screen, a picture in your videos, or if it's just you listening to a record, that's what they're talking about. They want clips of you playing is fine, it sounds like. The primary purpose of the video should not be for sharing someone else's audio. It's across Facebook and Instagram for all types of accounts. And so in some places, certain music is not available, and so you won't be able to listen to it. So this happens all the time. Like if something gets released early in one country versus another, sometimes, for example, we'll release something in Japan and the United States on separate dates, and then all of a sudden things get confusing because you can't listen to it in the US, but it's already out in Japan. So this happens all the time. Just people are now being made aware of it. It's coming to the forefront, and people are freaking out. Probably they don't need to freak out as much as they thought, except that maybe Facebook is not your primary place to live stream, or maybe it's not your primary place to connect with your fans anymore. This might be the case already because we talked about in a recent video here on Create, Connect, Repeat that you need to have an ad strategy because the organic reach on Facebook and Instagram is through the floor, it's dropped like a rock, and that's because more and more advertisers are getting on there, more and more people are getting hip to the fact that you need to use those advertising dollars to reach your audience. So that brings me to the main point of what I wanted to talk about today in regards to this platform changing or not changing. So Facebook can do whatever they want, whenever they want. As you can see, they can change their terms of service, even though that was 2 years ago that they said that. People are just realizing now that there are other things coming to fruition and they're going to double down on this, but you have no control. So you have no control. You can't control what they do. You can't control the reach. You can't control if your fans even see your stuff. So what is the most important thing? To create your own distribution. So what does that mean, to create your own distribution in 2020? Well, to me, that means two things. One, make sure you have a website that people can find you and your stuff. And two, make sure that you have an email list that you can connect with your fans. And you make sure you're not using a spammy email service that blocks your messages from getting sent to your fans, right? So the two most essential things you can have right now, because the platforms could change at any minute. This could happen again. YouTube could do the same thing. Start taking down videos, down videos, down videos. Your live streams could become a thing where you have to start paying mechanicals yourself rather than usually at venues. The venues pay the mechanicals in a broad licensing fee that they take care of for the whole year to cover all the songs that might be played in their venue. But now, if all of us as musicians who are streaming and doing live stuff online have to start paying those royalties, it's going to become very expensive very fast for us. So you need to find a place where you can use your own distribution. That's your website and that's your email list. You can create a private Zoom link or a private Skype link or whatever kind of service you want to use to stream, and just stream right to your fans. You don't have to use any of these third parties if you have fans. So if you haven't been taking in this time a couple of minutes to try to build your email list, you should be doing that now. I tell you, it is the most important thing you can build. It's people that want to hear from you, and if these platforms go away, you're going to be sad that you never took the time to build up your email list during this time. So I encourage you to find some high value items that you can give to your audience in exchange for their email address, and take control. Control your distribution, keep your website, your presence at the center, and use the social media to enhance. Don't rely on social media to be the sole way you connect with people, because what? TikTok is about to get banned, right? That could happen at any moment to any platform or any new platform. Facebook could actually shut down all music, even though they're not going to. They could, right? They can do whatever they want with you and your stuff and your content. It's your content, but it's their platform, so they can do whatever they want. So keep that in mind. Control your distribution. Don't worry so much. Facebook's not going to go away, but do take the time to heed some of what they said. Music and stories in traditional live music performance, filming an artist or band performing, are still permitted. The greater number of full-length recorded tracks in a video, the more likely it may be limited, meaning if you play multiple songs in one take, or if you put 5-6 songs together, they might take a look at it. Shorter clips of music are recommended, so the highlights. Do the highlights, make an ad, send them over to YouTube, send them to your website to watch the full version. There should always be a visual component of your video. Recorded audio should not be the primary purpose of the video. So hopefully that clears up some of the confusion around this Facebook issue in September 2020. It's supposed to go into effect on October 1st. So hopefully you watch this video and realize, 1, calm down. 2, take control of your distribution, get that email list, get that website together. And if you want to get in touch, please feel free to do so. Leave us a comment down below if you want another topic covered on Create, Connect, Repeat. It's always a pleasure to get to connect with you. Subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you in the next video.